Course 1, lesson 84 is about proportions, but this time we're going to solve them a new way, and I love this lesson. I love this way to solve proportions. I think it's really fun, and I really hope you choose to do it the way we learn with cross products. We already talked about proportions a few days ago, if you remember, and we learned how to solve something like 3/4 is, I don't know, over 8. What do? We find the constant factor or scale factor between the denominators, or whatever numbers we know. We know the 8 and the 4, right? 8 divided by 4 is 2. So this is going to end up being multiplied by 2. Right? We can also solve by cross multiplying to find products across diagonally. If the cross products are equal, then the fractions are equal. Cross products of two fractions are found by cross multiplication, as I said. So 3/4 is 6/8. We can test by doing 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 6 is also 24. If the cross products match, then the fractions are in proportion. Equal fractions have cross products equal. So example 1, use cross products to determine whether 3/5 and 4/7 are equal. Notice you're looking at the picture, you already know they're equal, but you don't get to just say equal. You have to show your work using cross products. To show me you know what we're doing here. You need to prove you know how to do it before you decide, it's not for me. So set up your proportion. 3/5 is 4/7. Prove it. 7 times 3. Cross product is 21. 5 times 4, what's that? 20. Are these equal? No. So therefore, they are not. Even though you look at the picture, they look very close. It's kind of hard to tell in a picture when it's this close. But 3/5, if you divided it out as a decimal, is going to be slightly different than if you divide 4 divided by 7. Interesting, huh? And a little bit fun to use diagonal multiplication, isn't it? When we find the cross products of two fractions, we're simply renaming the fractions with common denominators. The common denominator is the product of two denominators and is usually not written. Look again at the fractions we compared. The denominators 5 and 7, right? 5 and 7. And if we multiply 3/5 by 7/7 and 4/7 by 5/5, we form two fractions that have common denominators. They have 30/5, and then as a result we need to find the numerators that we can compare. So cross multiplying is really just a quick version to think of finding those common denominators, like when we would have to compare fractions that weren't very obvious. It's kind of the same, kind of doing a lot of the same things. Our cross products are really the numerators should they have equal denominators. A proportion is a statement that shows two ratios that should be equal. That's a true proportion. So we need to find out, is example 2 a true proportion? Are these equal? Do they form a proportion? So we cross multiply. 8 and 18 is 144. 12 and 12, 144. Since the products are equal, we can call it a proportion. Two ratios that really are equal if we simplified. Since they have equal cross products, we can use cross products to find an unknown term, like I introduced with this lesson before. Instead of using the old scale factor, we can, and I think more easily, multiply 6m and 9/10. So I'm solving for this missing amount. We mark with a letter M to look like algebra, fancy. So 90 on the right and 6m on the left. How do we find a missing factor? We divide the product by the other factor. So m is 90 divided by 6. Calculator says 15. or maybe quick long division. We could find this out for ourselves, right? 15. So the 15 is the missing number here. So if it asks use cross products to complete the proportion, your answer would show this work, and then you would just write this as your answer, 15, right? Because that's the completed proportion. I guess it'd be okay if you wrote all of this. That's kind of what they wrote too. I'm okay with either one. Use cross products to find the unknown term in a proportion with words. You can read that one over if you'd like. And why don't you pick 3 of the practice? 3, please.